Hey kids, JP here at Stratoblogster.com reviewing a couple new distortion pedals today from T-Rex. We're looking at the Fuzz and the Totenschlager. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right, but it sounds like a good beer. Totenschlager. These are both part of the ever-expanding, T-Rex's ever-expanding Tone Bug line. Tone Bug pedals are the small, lower-priced pedals. A lot of bang for the buck. And we have two distortion entries here that appeal to two different demographics, two different kind of groups of people. Obviously, Fuzz is a more traditional type of old-school playing approach, whereas a black pedal called a Totenschlager, that is for extreme metal use. However, what's the difference between these two pedals? Because they are both distortion pedals. Well, we have them both set up as similarly as possible. We have a tone control here, whereas we have a 3-band EQ here. Otherwise, gains are set at about 2 o'clock. Okay, levels are set at about 9 o'clock. We've tried to set the tones as flat as possible. I wanted to get them similar, so I bumped up the treble a little bit on this guy right here. But there are some interesting differences, and there are some reasons why. So we're playing a Strat in the middle position, believe it or not, which is kind of strange. So, you know, it's going to be, your actual results are going to be very different. You know, if you're playing humbuckers, obviously. So, first, let's do the Totenschlager. Okay, Fuzz. Let's see the hiss. It's more hissy. I believe this pedal is more sensitive. It's set with more sensitivity for a reason, which we'll get into. Okay, so there's a basic comparison. That's at a pretty hot setting, but not extremely hot. Obviously, they both get nastier and dirtier as you increase the gain and the level, and they both clean up in certain ways. But a lot more sensitivity with the Fuzz pedal, and I believe the reason for that is that the kind of person who will buy a Fuzz pedal, they have a different signal chain, different rig setup than an extreme metal player. They're probably going to need that extra sensitivity, whereas an extreme metal player, because of their signal chain effects they're going to be using, type of guitar, type of amp they're going to be using, they could probably use a little buffer in the sensitivity department. So the reason for that. I switched these back and forth to make sure that the difference in the hiss and the difference in the noise level wasn't something related to the hookup. But there is no difference. So that's just how these pedals differ from each other. So basically, we'll play out with a little more and go back and forth. I'm not going to tweak with the settings much because they'll clean up. The tone controls are dynamic, and they can get nastier. And T-Rex, they make good definition pedals, high definition pedals. They're not just fuzzy, muddy, hairy front end stuff. You know. So anyway, there's our clean signal, by the way. That's what we sound like. With that setting, that is a little more definition. But that's going to vary with settings. Well, there you have it. I mean, that's the story of distortion. There must be 3 million distortion pedals out there on the market. So many to choose from, so little time. But T-Rex, good value for the money. These are about the $150 price bracket. Pretty dynamic sounding pedals, whichever way you go. Where better pedals are sold. That's the Totenschlager and the Fuzz, latest additions to T-Rex's Tone Bug line.